morning, Kingdom Partners. Matt Boyd here with Sojourn Church. Just wanted to come and give you a brief update this morning on what the month of May looked like, what June's going to look like for us, and how you can be praying for us and with us. A special highlight for the month of May is that I personally had the privilege of visiting North Carolina, which means I was with Western Avenue. Shout out to all my Western Avenue people, our sending church, and had the opportunity to see many of you, meet with the deacons briefly, the missions committee. I was actually got to speak on Wednesday night. Thank you, Andy and Jeff, for that opportunity, and was also able to share briefly on Sunday morning. And so that was a highlight for me, but that also meant I was out of town. And so while I was out of town, my coach and our church planting catalyst out here, a guy by the name of Wes Hughes, was able to step in and fill in at Sojourn, and heard great things about that Sunday while he was here, while I was absent from the area. We continued our series, Kingdom Manifesto, where we have been working through the Sermon on the Mount all the way since October. We did take a couple of breaks for Advent and Easter, and then right at the beginning of the year, but for a solid 6 months, we've been working through the Sermon on the Mount. We have probably about 2 sermons left. I have absolutely loved going through this sermon. If you are interested in hearing any of those messages, you can go to our website, sojournpdx.org, look for the sermons tab, or they should be available wherever it is that you consume podcasts. Our gospel community had a cookout just last week rather, and this is always a fun time because we take a break from the norm, we take a break from doing a study or some kind of teaching, and we just get together in fellowship. But not only us, we invite neighbors and friends and coworkers, and the really cool thing is that people normally show up. We have people who don't know and follow Jesus every single time we do one of these, which is why we do them. It gives us an opportunity to do life with them, to rub shoulders with them, to get into conversations with them, to learn their story and get a chance to share our story, and ultimately to point to the story of Jesus. Another praise from this past month is we have actually had some new people visiting with us on Sunday mornings at Sojourn. We've had a number of new visitors. I felt like for months during COVID that we would never get a new person ever again, that nobody was going to check out a church because they were afraid of being around people they don't know. But here in just the last several weeks, we've had a couple different people come through and visit, and we actually have some new people who are giving Sojourn a chance. And so that's an answer to prayer as we've looked at 2021 as kind of that start of a rebuilding year. And so do continue to pray that those new people will stick with us, and that God would continue, to bring more people to join us as he continues to build his church here in Portland. Upcoming this coming month, we're already in June. It's June 1st. Happy June. It's hard to believe that it is already here, which means summer is here as well. This time of year is opposite from winter for us. The sun is up at like 5:30 in the morning, and it does not go down till around 9:15, 9:30 at night. So we have lots of daylight, really long days. The weather has gotten very warm. In fact, it's going to be 95 degrees today in Portland. But this summer, what we have upcoming is we have 5 interns who are going to be working alongside of us. Now, 2 of those are already here. They got here on Sunday afternoon. They'll be here for 8 weeks. And so we asked one that you'd be praying for them. Pray for the other 3 who, as they are preparing to join us in just a couple of weeks. They're going to join our rhythms as a church. In other words, they'll be part of our Sunday gatherings. They'll all have a role. One of them's going to lead worship for us, and they'll run slides for us, help us do kids discipleship, and a variety of other things. They'll join our group on Wednesday nights, what we call our gospel community, and they'll participate in that and study alongside of us and be part of our next cookout that we do. And they'll be part of a discipleship community as well. They'll come in, they'll lead and serve our mission team. So if you are one of the mission teams that are coming out, you get to meet these interns. They'll be helping you as you are in the city. And then they're going to serve areas of what we call mercy areas in our city. These are some places in our city that we feel like our presence would be, the presence of God rather, and then our presence helping there can help bridge that gap to Jesus and the gospel. And so they'll be serving in some of these areas as well. Some of these areas we already have relationships, and some of these they'll be kind of cultivating, starting those relationships. The second thing we have come up in June is mission teams. It's typically summer's mission team season, and last year COVID canceled all of that, but we have actually 2 mission teams this month. The first is coming in from Beaumont, Texas, and so shout out to Beaumont's First Baptist. We look forward to having you and your team here in a few weeks. And then at the very same time, actually like 2 days later, and so they'll both be here during the same week, we have a team from Western Avenue. So once again, shout out to our sending church. And while those two teams are here, there's a number of things we'll be doing, but a couple of big things is we'll be doing a night of worship where we'll be gathering at the space that we use on Sunday and just for prayer and worship and inviting our community to come out and be part of that. And then we'll also be doing what we're calling Serve Our City. So serving the city, we'll have a number of local partnerships. One is the elementary school in our neighborhood, the neighborhood board and community itself, and then Alberta Main Street. And we'll be doing trash cleanup and graffiti cleanup and helping do beautification around the school. And just a way to say that we actually love and care about you. And once again, it's just another way to build those relationships and to bridge those gaps to Jesus. So I do ask that you be praying for us as you enter into June yourself. Be praying for us in a variety of ways. First, pray for new people. Pray for the new people who have checked us out. Pray that they would, if this is where God would want them to be, that they would stick around. And pray that God would continue to bring more people to us. Second, pray for a potential partnership with a local church here. It's out in the suburbs, about 30 minutes from the city, that is interested in, similar to how many of your churches partner with us, they're interested in doing something along those lines. Although this would be more so to help raise up a team of committed followers of Jesus who'd want to come and join us as we continue on in Northeast Portland. And so be praying that that would just come to fruition, that would work out, and that the right individuals from that church, we're talking about like 10 to 12 adults, that they would be identified, and that God would stir something in them to come over and to join us, to be fellow laborers, to help us not only survive, but to help us get to a place where we are thriving. Be praying for our interns, for our summer plans. We have a calendar that's not as full as it was in probably 2019, definitely fuller than it was in 2020, but it can always make you feel, you can kind of get sucked in being busy and exhausted. And we want to still rest in Jesus. We want to embrace what the summer offers to us. And so that we would just balance that well, balance the time with the family, leading the church, time with the interns, and pray for our interns. Spiritual warfare is really deep here. We've seen it happen many, many years where students come in and they're confused on what's happening, what's going on. So be praying for our interns, specifically be praying for the two that are already here as they get adjusted into where they're living and the rhythms of the city, the rhythms of our church, and then for those three who are going to be here in just about 2 weeks for the same. And then finally, be praying for the people of peace in our lives. Not only my personal life, but the life of our church, and that these people that God would draw to himself, that they seem open to the gospel, but that God would actually draw them in a place where they make a decision. As we looked at the Sermon on the Mount just a couple of weeks ago, Jesus said you have to choose life or destruction, life or death. And so be praying that these people of peace in our lives would choose life, and that we'd be able to walk them to embracing the life that they can have in Jesus. And be praying for those people that we are discipling, both in Jesus and to Jesus. Thank you so much, as always, for your support. Thank you so much for your encouragement and for your prayer. We ask that you would continue that as we get into June. Those of you who are on our prayer text message group, be looking for texts to come probably a little bit more frequently. I'll try not to bombard you. And if you're not on that text, let me know. It's actually run through an app, so it's not a group text in the traditional sense. Don't worry, I won't send it out to 100 of you and you get 100 responses back. Only you see the text that I send out, and only I see your response. So if you want to be added to that, let me know. Send an email to info@sojournpdx.org. Give me the preferred number you'd want to receive that message from, and that way you can stay kind of in tune and in touch with what it is that's happening week in and week out prior to getting these monthly updates. Thank you all. Look forward to seeing many of you this summer, and hopefully talking to some of you who can't make it out here to work with us. Have a blessed day. God bless.